The new school year has officially begun for most students. Now, this means a time for new beginnings, friendships, and challenges, but most importantly, an improved mindset to strive for excellence. Hello there. Thanks for joining us on another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. We have some educational features lined up just for you in this next half hour. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
How am I going to go to college? I can't find anybody to stand security for me. I mean, I could ask my aunt, but she's likely not going to want to do it. Let me ask her just in case. Plenty, do you know if anybody I could use to stand as guarantor for my student loan? I'm really struggling here.
Hey sis, what are you stressing about now?
Time is winding down and I need to find someone to stand as guarantor for my student loan. But everyone I ask can't seem to do it, and I don't know what to do now.
So hold on. You didn't know that the Students' Loan Bureau doesn't require a guarantor for the loan application?
Are you serious? That's amazing.
Yes, effective April 1, 2024, the Students' Loan Bureau no longer requires applicants to have guarantors. This applies to all SLB loan products. With SLB, you can make your dreams a reality. Visit our website at slbja.com for more details and follow all our social media platforms to be in the loop.
Good day, I'm Lisa Rowe and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, September 4, 2024. A by-election will be held on September 30 to appoint a new Member of Parliament for the North East St. Anne constituency. The seat became available yesterday following the immediate resignation of the sitting MP, Marcia Smith. Earlier today, Prime Minister Andrew Holness announced that Senator Matthew Samuda had been selected as the Jamaica Labour Party's candidate for the constituency.
The nomination day will be September 11th, 2024, and the election day will be September 30th, 2024. On Monday last, he tendered his resignation from the Senate and as a minister to make himself available. And at a later stage, I will announce a new appointment for Marcia, who has excellent skills and experience in industrial relations matters.
Mr. Holness says a number of changes will be taking place across the government in the coming months as the administration restructures itself to achieve accelerated growth, efficiency, peace, and productivity.
Which will deliver the benefits that you would like to see for yourself, as I have said. Benefits such as better wages, better education, better healthcare, better roads and water. We have planned certain changes to put the administration in a position to refocus and better deliver these well-deserved benefits to the people of Jamaica.
Yesterday marked the fourth year of the current government since taking office in September 3, 2020. Jamaica has signed a $2 billion financial advisory services agreement with the International Finance Corporation, IFC. The IFC is a member of the World Bank Group. Tuesday's signing paves the way for technical cooperation in the execution of 10 major projects that will go through a public-private partnership (PPP) investment process. These will be open to competitive bidding and include the continuation of the North Coast Highway project and the broadband infrastructure. Other areas to be covered under the agreement are water and healthcare infrastructure, focusing on centers of excellence, nephrology, and oncology. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke says the projects will be carried out over the medium term of 5 years and beyond. He says this is possible only because the country has the macroeconomic framework in place to structure large transactions that can deliver public infrastructure and public services at an accelerated pace.
However, structuring such transactions and bringing them to market requires technical expertise. It requires relationships. And the IFC is one of the largest structure of infrastructure transactions in the world, and we're privileged to have them as an advisor.
Dr. Clarke says this allows the state to bring a portfolio of opportunities to the market at the same time, which broadens the pool of investors.
Investors will know that they may not win on a single project, but because we are coming with 10 projects, they will have other opportunities.
The finance minister says the objective of the MOU is to lift the standard of living in Jamaica, attract investments in scale, and leverage the macroeconomic environment in the people's interest. The IFC's managing director views the partnership as a way forward.
I'm glad that Jamaica has reached a stage where everybody across the spectrum agree that you need to have the private sector as an engine of growth. And I think that we are happy to be honored, and we are honored to be associated to that effort and to be the strategic partner of Jamaica in structuring those deals, creating that portfolio that will allow to move from unsolicited bid to more solicited bid and larger portfolio that create the direction of Jamaica as a direction for investment in the Caribbean.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the MOU and the developing relationship with the International Finance Corporation, IFC, is an important catalyst in speeding up the country's growth trajectory. Mr. Holness met with the team at his office on Tuesday. He assured the IFC that Jamaica was on a very solid pathway, backed by policies that have created economic stability.
We will continue to nurture them, we will continue to advance them. We've put in place the checks and balances to ensure that any deviation is not too far off, if any. But we see it as a stepping stone. So we have to go now to the next level, which is what this MOU, I'm hopeful, will achieve. And not just the step, but the speed of the step.
Minister with responsibility for water, Senator Matthew Samuda, is encouraging more investment by local companies in the build-out of the country's water infrastructure. He made the call while on a tour of Isratec Jamaica Limited's high-density polyethylene pipe manufacturing plant recently. The company has pledged its support to the development of the country's water infrastructure. Mr. Samuda says addressing the country's water crisis is among the top priorities of the government, and significant capital investments are being directed to this endeavor.
The water needs of Jamaica between now and 2030, if we're able to deploy the number of projects that we need, would be somewhere in the range of $5 billion. It is obvious that Jamaica will need support externally to make this happen, both on the financial side as well as expertise in particular categories. So it is very, very encouraging when local firms are making investment in Jamaica, in the capacity, both on the expertise side and on the equipment side, and certainly on the production side.
Minister Samuda thanked the company for its continued commitment and investments in the country. 4 schools across St. Anne, St. Catherine and St. Andrew will transition from the 2-shift system by the end of this year. They are Ocho Rios and Nagohead Primary Schools and Bridgeport and Pepin High Schools. Minister of Education and Youth, Favour Williams, made the announcement during the transition ceremony for Ocho Rios Primary on Monday. She says the move is part of the ministry's broader mission to enhance school infrastructure across Jamaica.
For years, the shift system has been a necessary part of our educational landscape, but it also brought its own set of challenges. It limited the time our students could spend learning, exploring, and growing. Today, we're breaking free from those limits by moving to a single shift system.
The minister reveals that following the transition of these 4 schools by the end of the year, only 27 institutions will remain on the shift system.
I want to assure you that we are committed to seeing this through until every school on the list has made the switch.
And finally, the Minister of Education says 653 schools across the country had full resumption of classes on the first day of the new academic year. The update comes against the background of significant damage to over 300 schools by Hurricane Beryl, of which 107 were severely impacted. Minister Williams says the ministry worked hard to ensure schools would be ready for the new academic year.
We are here to clear the path. We're not here to give you excuses as to why we couldn't do things. We are the leaders in the education sector. We are the ones to stand up, do the work, to ensure that our students, wherever they are, that they have access to education.
She cautions that while high schools are expected to have all students back in classes by the beginning of next week, some primary institutions may need to stagger their reopening due to the lingering effects of the hurricane. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.
It's back to school time here in Jamaica. Parents, instead of tossing out those gently used textbooks,
we are encouraging you across Jamaica. Parents, you have children who have come through one grade going on to another grade and you have textbooks that are in good condition. Please don't just get rid of them and set them aside. Let us exchange them with other parents who could use that so they don't have to fork out all of that money to buy a new set of books. And you can maybe do an exchange with a parent who is with a child in a higher grade that your child will be progressing to.
Save some money and help someone else gear up for the new school year. It's a win-win for everyone.
With the evolution of technology comes a transformation in society. The education sector is one of the areas this evolution has impacted, among other things, making information more accessible to students, including those with disabilities. There's more to it, but let's find out in this upcoming video.
With just a touch, with just a swipe, our youth are now able to learn on any device.
With the help of UNICEF's Technical Working Group and the Ministry of Education and Youth Special Education Unit, our young people now have access to digital textbooks. The Universal Design for Learning (UDL) methodology, which is central to accessible digital textbooks (ADT), has allowed for the venture to take root. The first 2 fully accessible books were released in late September 2022 to allow for greater inclusion of students with disabilities. Now this time around, all students will have access to high-quality, interactive digital textbooks in a variety of languages, including Jamaican Sign Language.
We are very happy to see technology transforming education, particularly in areas where children did not have the accessibility. The integration of technology into education is the next frontier. There is a fear that somehow technology, with all its advancements in artificially developing intelligence, could replace or minimize the role of the teacher. That is absolutely not the case when it comes to education. It means that the teacher now has a more powerful tool with which they can exercise their duties. And of course, you know, it introduces new challenges into the classroom, right? But it also introduces greater opportunities for engagement.
My name is Ari Jones and I am from Danny Williams School for the Deaf.
Ari and others have access to 2 books that were transformed into ADT format for the Jamaican pilot using UDL principles, My Brain is My Boss, and Harriet Hen and the Hawk. Little Harry is using the My Brain is My Boss ADT book to help him grasp the relationship between the brain and the body.
In this effort, we are working to make sure that no one is left behind, and the population that is in our most concern is the disability population. As you know, we have a lot of barriers in the country for this population to enter to the education system yet. But I want to have the opportunity to congratulate the government for the recent passed Disability Act, which paved the way for this population to really have their rights granted in the country.
The Disabilities Act came into effect on February 14, 2022. This followed its approval in 2014 and the affirmation of the Disabilities Regulations in 2021.
Attention all primary school students! The JIS invites you to participate in our 2024 Heritage Essay Competition highlighting the theme, Out of Many, One People. In only 400 to 500 words, discuss how our different cultural, ethnic or religious groups have contributed to building a stronger Jamaica. Essays must be written in standard English and have at least one reference from a JIS source. There are prizes to be won. Get creative, share your ideas, and make your voice heard. Submit your essay by Thursday, October 31, 2024. Be sure to visit jis.gov.jm for the competition guidelines. Your words can help shape Jamaica's future. Start writing today. The transformation of the education sector over the years has been a stepping stone to greater possibilities. It has impacted students' ability to excel and to reach higher heights. Come, we'll tell you more.
In 1980, the Lord spoke to me about beginning a school. And so I started the school this September.
This is Carol Hazel, principal of the Waterford Development Faith Basic School. She is one of the pioneers of early childhood education in Jamaica.
I started the school with 3 benches. The paint wasn't even dried. And this was at my home. And I remember clearly that I had to put some cardboard on the bench to prevent the paint from, messing the children's uniform. And I had 21 children for that first week.
Carol Hazel's story mirrors that of most early childhood institutions from Jamaica's infancy, back when they were more commonly known as basic schools. The first teaching guideline for children 4 to 6 years was developed in the 1970s and later revised in the 1980s as the Ministry of Education established an early childhood unit. With the growing need for knowledge, government has worked to establish proper regulations for early learning, taking a major step with the establishment of the Early Childhood Commission, ECC, in 2003. The ECC lays out regulations for adequate physical space and improved quality of learning through the training of teachers and curriculum revision. From early childhood to elementary learning, more space was created for the formal education of Jamaica's children, as by 1966, 40 primary schools were built to hold 16,800 students. Today, participation in early childhood and primary education in Jamaica is compulsory and free through the public system, with parents also having the option to educate their children in private institutions. Examinations at the primary level have changed rigorously since the British-modelled Common Entrance Test was replaced in 1999.
There are earlier exams at different stages, grade 4 literacy test and so on. And the GSAT remained the main form of examining kids who graduate from primary school. And as a way of placing students into the secondary school. There has been a shift in the curriculum, an important change. This is one of the recommendations from the 2004 task force. The National standards curriculum.
This shift became necessary to ensure children were developing critical and analytical skills. The primary exit profile PEP examinations later replaced GSAT in 2018. In the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, the Ministry of Education shifted learning online, broadcast content via television and radio, and distributed thousands of tablets and laptops to students. This served to accelerate the change already underway to increasingly connect education and technology in Jamaica. With the upward movement of Jamaica's early childhood and primary education, the drive of the government is to continue a corridor of mobilizing knowledge and spurring national development.
Hi everyone, let's talk granting aid. Eligible targeted loan applicants may receive a non-repayable granting aid of $60,000. These funds can be used for school-related expenses such as traveling, buying food, housing, or purchasing a laptop, for example. Eligibility is determined by the financial circumstances of applicants and the availability of grants. Apply early at slbja.com and be one of 4,200 beneficiaries of our granting aid.
It's not how you start, but how you finish, is a statement many of us live by daily. We all have faced obstacles along our journey in life, and this young man's story is one that had its fair share of challenges. But the government's program of advancement through health and education, PATH, was there to help him. He shares his story with us, and let's take a look.
I say to anybody who is struggling, to remember who you are deep down. There's nothing wrong with you. You're as smart as the next person who's doing it well.
The Program of Advancement through Health and Education PATH is a social protection intervention administered by the Ministry of Labour and Social Security. Introduced in 2002, PATH aims to aid individuals from vulnerable households, such as children, pregnant and breastfeeding women, persons living with disabilities, and elderly dependents. The Conditional Cash Transfer CCT program was created after the reorganization of 3 previously existing income transfer programs: food stamp, outdoor poor relief, and public assistance. With a core belief that education creates avenues out of poverty, PATH provides meaningful ways for persons to achieve their learning goals. Ricardo Allen is one of the many who have benefited from PATH, and you may just find his story inspiring.
Hi, my name is Ricardo Allen. I'm the founder and CEO of One-on-One Educational Services. I started on PATH at a very early age. At that time, it was actually not PATH, it was food stamps, right? I was living in Rehoboth in Trelawney. Growing up, my mother, we went to the post office and we collected the food stamps and so on. At the time, she would collect it and she would use it to get us food. And then over time, I believe that changed to PATH, and that came with more benefits, such as going to school and getting breakfast in the morning.
One of the ministry's aims is for the program to create a pathway for economic independence.
I've benefited from PATH in a number of ways. When I was at Rehoboth in a primary, actually, we used to get like milk and bulla and all of those like things and so on. My mother, obviously, she would get her check every now and then, and she would use it to buy us stuff. I personally benefited from lunch at the school every single day. That's how I was able to go to school and kind of focus on learning and not necessarily focus on any other thing.
The Ministry of Labour and Social Security through PATH spends over $10 billion annually to assist citizens who are in need. Ricardo is particularly grateful for the support it gave his mother so she could give his siblings what they needed.
When you go to school hungry, with a lot of challenges, it's very difficult to learn. So Obviously, by getting something as simple as breakfast and knowing that lunch is covered by the PATH program, I was able to kind of focus on my education. Some of the hardest time in high school for me was when I didn't have the support of, let's say, lunch, or I didn't have something, or I couldn't afford a pair of shoes to go to school and so on. There was a time when I was going to primary school or all age school in Trelawney where I walked barefooted. So these are things that distracts you and takes you away from learning the things that you need to learn in order to get out of that problem you find yourself in anyway. So of course, I mean, PATH was an incredible help for us, my family, my mom.
With the foundation PATH laid for him, Ricardo was able to maximize on it, finish school, and is now empowered to impart knowledge and advice to others who are in similar situations he was facing.
Success and help is almost like a domino effect, all right? You know, it's almost like you help one to help many more, right? And without even telling me, just benefiting from that help and the type of person I am, I'm committed to helping as many people as I possibly can, personally and also through my company, one-on-one. But I can tell you that it has given to me that which I can give to others, right? And that's not the funding that PATH gave. That's not the breakfast nor the lunch. It is the ability to pursue my education. And now I am educated and I can create a successful company. The first advice that I would kind of share is that it's so important to play the long game, right? Almost anything in this life that is worth having is going to take a very long time. Be committed to who you are. Be committed to your core. Look around you. One of the things that motivated me was to see my mother struggling. You have to find something that you feel very upset about and angry about, that it guides you every single day and guide your decision making.
As Ricardo continues his journey, he encourages each and every person to not give up.
You should knock on many doors, because the worst thing someone can say to you is no. They can't fight you, they can't hurt you, they can't do anything. Ask for what you want. And if someone says no, there are billions of people out there that will say yes.
For more information on how you could become a PATH beneficiary, visit your nearest PATH office, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's website at mlss.gov.jm, or call 876-922-8000 to 13. Pathways, helping you secure a brighter future.
What I do is I wear my cap because I love cap, and I wear my medicated glasses. If I'm not wearing my glasses, like sometimes you might be just running out, I still wear a sunshade. Because really sun really crazy at daytime. It's like each day the sun gets hotter.
Well, the most safety is to wear a hat and drink a lot of water, right? And wear a white shirt to keep our bodies cool.
I am starting to stay indoors more, wear a hat, and have an umbrella in my bag right now. So yeah, that's what I'm doing to keep myself away, protect myself from the sun.
I wear like a sunglass sometimes, and sometimes I just wear my hat to take out down off the face.
For me personally, I put on sunscreen, drink a lot of water as best as possible, at least for me.
This is where we leave you on today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Be sure to join us tomorrow on this station for all the information you need to know. Until then, visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for this and other happenings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry, reminding you that if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.